Hi there, welcome back to Priya's maths classes. Today I will discuss quadratic equations. Okay, so what do we mean by a quadratic equation? A quadratic equation is an equation with an LHS, of course, and an RHS and the equality sign. So you have an LHS equal to RHS, and in this equation I need to find out the value of x. The unknown or the variable involved is x. So x, it can be anything, x or y or whatever. So we need to find the value of x. However, why is it called a quadratic? Because look at the highest power of x here. X is raised to power 2. Here x is raised to power 1. When nothing is mentioned, it is 1. So the highest power of x is 2. So when the highest power of x is 2, it is called as a quadratic equation. It's quadratic, yeah? So power of x is 2. So I need to find out the value of x which satisfies this equation. That value of x which satisfies the equation. What do I mean by satisfies the equation? So we have LHS equal to RHS. What is my RHS? It is 0. So if the equality has to hold good, the LHS also has to become equal to 0. So when I say I'm going to solve this equation, it means I need to find out that value, or rather let me say values of x, which will reduce this expression on the LHS to 0. Okay, so how do I find out? Okay, coming back to this, how many values does this have? So because it's a quadratic, the highest power of x is 2. This equation will have 2 roots. That is 2 values of x. There will be 2 values of x which will reduce this LHS to 0, or in other words, there are 2 values of x which will satisfy the equation. Finding the solution to the equation is nothing but finding that value of x which will satisfy the equation. That's what I mean by finding the solution, right? And okay, so now we established that this equation is going to have 2 values of x. Okay, there are 2 values of x which will satisfy the equation. And how do we find out those two values? Yes, to solve a quadratic equation there are 3 methods. All right, today I will discuss one method which is called as the Sridharacharya's formula, or the quadratic formula method. Okay, we are going to make use of formula. The other 2 methods are the factorization method, also the completing the square method. For these we need some conditions. So today we will only look at Sridharacharya's formula, or the quadratic formula method. Now before we actually go to that method, let's just look at the LHS. We have ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So x is the unknown. I need to find the value of x. Okay, I can put y or any z or any other variable in place of x. For now I have taken x. And what about ABC? ABC are any real numbers. Yes, you heard it right. Any real numbers, provided a is not equal to 0. B and C can be 0 for that matter. A should not be 0. Why? Now why? Why A is not equal to 0? A, B, C can be any real numbers. B can be 0, C can be 0. A can be any real number except 0. Why? Let me see what happens. See, if I have to answer this, I have to see what happens. If A is 0, what happens? So what? Okay, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So when A becomes 0, this 0 into x square is 0. This term vanishes. I get bx plus 0 plus bx plus c is equal to 0. 0. So this goes bx plus z is equal to 0. Bx plus c is equal to 0. And it becomes a linear. The highest power of x is now 1. It's no longer a quadratic. It becomes a linear equation. Okay? That's why a should not be 0. So let me discuss the quadratic formula, or the Sridharacharya's method. Okay, there are different names. Sridharacharya's method, or formula or method to find the solution. So he says x is the unknown. The value of x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac. The whole thing is divided by 2a. I'll read it out for you again. X is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Now just look at this value, b square minus 4ac. We'll talk about it much later again in my next few videos, but right now this is called as the discriminant, d. So I would rewrite this as minus b plus or minus root of d by 2a. Okay. So this b is from here and a is from here, and in d is nothing but discriminant. That is it's nothing but equal to b square minus 4ac, and the c is from here. And we know what happens when a is 0, right? It's no longer going to be a quadratic, and then this formula will not hold good either, because division by 0, anything divided by 0 is not defined. So it also, we have taken care to see that a is not 0. So what happens now? Okay, so why? Okay, I think things are quite clear, but otherwise, where do we need this plus or minus? See, with the positive sign, with the plus sign, you get one value of x. I already told you, right? A quadratic equation, it will have two solutions, right? Two values of x which will satisfy. So with the plus, you get a particular value. With the minus, you get another value. You'll get two values of x. Now, the two values can be real or imaginary, or they could be real and identical, and so on. There are different things that we shall see later. Well, I'll take a problem for illustration. So I said ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, right? Let me take a simple example. Let me take x square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. I can rewrite it as x square plus minus 5 into x plus 6 is equal to 0. What is the coefficient of x square? When nothing is mentioned, it is 1. Understood, default, right? Now compare this expression with this expression. A is 1, b is minus 5, and c is 6, right? Let me just put that down here. A is 1, b is minus 5, and c is 6. Look, I've got my values now, and I just have to substitute in the quadratic formula, or the Sridharacharya's formula. So x is minus b, minus of minus 5, plus or minus square root of b square minus 4 into 1 into 6. 4 into a into c, the whole thing divided by 2 into a, 2 into 1. Minus of minus is plus, so it becomes 5, plus or minus. Now when I square something, the negative goes away, right? Minus 5 into minus 5 is plus 25. Minus 6, 4 into 1, 4 into 6 is 24. The whole thing divided by 2. Okay, and now we have 5 plus or minus root of 25 minus 24 is 1 by 2. Okay, now square root of 1, it's 1, right? Plus or minus 1 by 2. So I get x is, now I'll take the plus sign, I get one particular value. With the minus, I get the other value, right? And 5 plus 1 by 2, which is 5 plus 1 is 6 by 2, which is 3. And x is 5 minus 1 by 2, 4 by 2, which is 4 by 2 is 2. See, I got 3 and 2. What do you do? How do you verify now? Just put the values, like put x is 3 in the LHS here, in this equation LHS, and see that it should become 0. It will become 0. And put x is 2 in the LHS, and you will see that the value of this expression is 0. When x is 3, this expression reduces to 0. When x is 2, this expression reduces to 0, and LHS becomes equal to RHS, and we have got the two solutions, 3 and 2. The 3 and 2 are the roots of the quadratic equations, the solutions of this quadratic equations. Hope this is clear. I'll get back to you with the next two methods and more illustrations in my next few videos. So take care.